Welcome to the Sportsways.
Sportways African Hockey Summit, and enjoy this fantastic opportunity of sharing of knowledge.
Welcome to the African Hockey Summit presented by Sportways. I've got two very special guests with me today who are people that are making big differences in hockey around the world, and especially in Africa. We'll start off first with somebody who's been working with the Hockey Dreams Foundation for the last 6 years, somebody that's very passionate about making a difference and the communications and the media and the PR side. Malou, Janssen, thank you. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Good to be here, and looking forward to the summit in general.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you very much. Another person who will be familiar to a lot of hockey lovers around the world, somebody who's played for possibly one of the biggest clubs and one of the most popular clubs in the world, and also one of the most successful. 2013, 2016, 2017, 2018 club champion, World-class champion with Kampong. Also 2015 Indoor World Cup champions, a division of hockey that I'm very passionate about. 2016 European or EHL hockey winner, which I was lucky enough to watch. That was pretty epic to see. And then 2017 European champion with the Dutch side. Bjorn, Kellerman, welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. But Kampong is the biggest club of the world, eh? So
it's
the biggest club.
Yeah, that's right. It's the big. What is just on that topic? What is the numbers? How many members? Over 5,000-6,000 members?
No. I thought there was like 3.5 thousand.
That's still a lot, though.
But we have like we call like an omni club. So we have like different kind of sports. So not only hockey, but only the hockey part is like 3.5.
Yeah, that's still a lot of people. Malou, let's start with you. Hockey Dreams Foundation. Okay, where did it start? Where is it going? And tell us a bit more about the foundation, what you guys do.
Well, it started many years ago already, in 2012, and there was this like temporary hockey project supported by the Dutch Federation here. Our founder, Gijs Hardeman, he went there. They introduced hockey to the community, and he just thought, okay, there's something special going on here. We should make it into a foundation that really sets something there, that you don't go there, deliver something for a short period of time and then leave again. He wanted to make it into something sustainable. And now, many years later, that's exactly what we've been doing. So, Hockey Dreams in general is a educational program. So, what we do is that we actually use hockey as a tool. We could have picked any other sport instead. But our program is only about hockey, and we actually use the tool as in a way to bring people together, so actually create a hockey community. So imagine a hockey club we just talked about. Imagine how a hockey club works. That's just much more than just playing sports together, right? So what we do is that there are coaches within our program who are underprivileged, young, most of the time didn't get to finish their high school, and we provide them this program, which we like to call our academy, that involves a lot of hockey-related stuff, but also a lot of personal development-related stuff. So we encourage them to not only teach the kids, because they're, for your information, they're training hundreds and altogether thousands of kids on a weekly basis. And by being a hockey coach, they don't just teach the kids how to play hockey. but they are really like a role model to them. So they've become educators themselves. At the end of the program, like at the point where they are like we say graduated from the program, we want to have them finished their education, maybe to a post-education, start their own business, get scouted on a private school that they have an actual job, and of course, like I said, we use hockey as a tool for that, and so far, it's going really well.
Now, Bjorn, I'm going to come to you because when we talk about hockey dreams, I mean, for the average hockey player, and when I say the average, I mean, I'm talking the general public, you are, as a player, living a hockey dream. I mean, you're playing for a club side that has won so many titles. You're playing in arguably the biggest league in the world, the most successful. You're playing in the Dutch national team that's always looked up to. Is that dream, is that something that you were constantly working towards when you were a young player, or when did you start realizing like this is something that I'm destined to do?
No, I think when I was a young kid, I started to dream like I want to play hockey with my friends. I was playing for a small club in the Netherlands. So my dream was to play for the national team. But before I go to the national team, you have to train a lot and also to make some different kind of goals to reach it. So I started when I was five years old, I think. And now I'm 30 years old and I almost reached my goal. My final goal is the Olympics next summer, of course. But yeah, I've played a lot of games and trained a lot of times for different kind of clubs. I won some trophies nationally, but also internationally. And of course, the dream is to win gold during the Olympics next year. But I don't forget the trophies I already won. So what you rather pronounce like the World Cup, the Euro Cup, three times national champion, 1 time Euro champion. So of course, that's my dream. And that's also the reason that I've become an ambassador of the hockey dreams, because I've been in Uganda and I see the kids from 5 to 6, 7 years old. They also have a dream. And what Malou already told is that dream is to play hockey, not for the Uganda team, but just play hockey with friends, just go away from the slums, but making fun with each other.
And I think that's where you make quite an interesting point there, is because it starts to put into perspective where we all are in the bigger scheme of things in hockey. And one thing, I'm going to get back to Uganda because that's a pretty special part of the story. I was about to say the one achievement that you would want to add to that, to your resume, is that Olympic gold medal. I know it's eluded the men for a little bit. Just give us a quick insight into the type of training and the type of commitment that goes into being not just a gold medal, but an Olympic athlete. Because I'm sure this, obviously with what's going on, you have a little bit more time to prepare for it, but obviously there's a lot more time to rethink how things should go, how you're going to potentially get that medal. Just give us a slight insight into that quickly.
I think the most important thing is that you live 24/7 as a top athlete. You can go do different kind of things because you have to be fit on the right moment. So of course they rescheduled to next year, so we can prepare us like 1 year longer. But I think the main point is the focus on the goal, and that is like to be fit when the Olympics starts. And of course, when you're fit and you need a little bit of luck, you can win the gold medal. But I think the main focus is like concentration and every day, every minute of the day, every second of the day, just focusing on your goal, and that is like be fit on the Olympics.
So let's go to Uganda now. So obviously you come from a situation where hockey works really well in the Netherlands. I mean, everything works perfectly. You have lots of leagues, you have lots of kids, lots of players. What were your first impressions when you got to Uganda?
Well, there was a big impressions. I think when I arrived at the airport, I was surprised what I saw. Just the circumstances. It was like really poor. And of course, I travel a lot for the national team. But it was something different, and I was really happy to be there. That I can do something to the kids, for the trainers, the coaches. For me, it's really easy to do, but for them, it was like a big gift that I can give them training and to hug them, to play with them, and I think the big difference between the Netherlands and the Uganda hockey players is really big, because when I was in the car like 10 minutes ago to drive to my home, I thought, when I give a training in the Netherlands, it have to be like 1 on 2 people, 1 on 3 people. In Uganda, I was giving a clinic to 300, 400 people, kids who were having fun, and they make fun with each other. And I think the energy what they give to me, I can give it back to them. And in the Netherlands, it's different. You have to give them energy, and then they want to give you energy. So I was really happy to give there some trainings with really easy exercises. But yeah, it was really fun for me.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Malou, you're now hearing what Bjorn's having to say about it, and you've been involved with it for the last 6 years. Just explain to us some of the differences, or some of the, I can't use the word improve, but the benefits that you've seen over the last 6 years, or the outcomes from things like what Bjorn is doing and what you're doing as well.
You mean the benefits for the coaches on a personal level? Or?
Well, not really, but also like looking how it's improved over the years that you've been involved. And knowing that you've got somebody like Bjorn and Maria Verschoor that's involved as ambassadors.
Yeah, that's one big thing that has helped us a lot, of course, in trying to reach the hockey network, the hockey world, in telling people what we do, because in the end, we're a non-profit organization and we need funds. What has changed a lot, I think, on like a more operational kind of level within the foundation, is that we like to work in a way that we don't just tell our coaches what to do. It's not like we see, like what we see here in the Netherlands or in Europe is exactly the way that that our coaches should give a training, or because as we all can imagine, the resources are not there. So what we need to realize, and that's also what Bjorn just described, is that most of the time these kids, for example, don't play on a hockey pitch, or they don't play on actual shoes. They share their hockey stick, for example, because you don't own your own, because we can't give all of them their own hockey sticks. So those are things that that we need to take in mind when looking at our programs, first of all. And what we like to do, and how I think that the foundation developed over the last few years, is that we're more and more listening to what the community needs and adapting to how they grow, what their needs are, and change maybe from an internal perspective. So maybe it's not like all our fans and friends know this, but that is something that has changed a lot. For example, what we now do during COVID, because obviously there's nothing taking place on a hockey level. So what our coaches are now doing is, instead, they're running their own, something that we like to call giving back projects. So they are looking at the hockey community. So everyone who's involved with hockey locally, so the people they know there, and they are just looking at what does the community really need. And one of the things that, for example, in Kampala in Uganda, what the community really needs right now is liquid soap. So our coaches are now getting trained to produce their own liquid soap, because that is what the community needs. So yeah, those are things that we're constantly developing and changing and being flexible, and we don't have a program that we just can copy paste in every place where we maybe in the future would like to be.
And I think it's actually good that you said it, because I mean each country will have their own sort of identity or blueprint that they will build in their own going forward. When you talk about the 6 years you've been involved with the Hockey Dreams Foundation, and it's a bit of a deep question, and I think you'll get what I'm saying, but have you started seeing more people dreaming big now that there's these opportunities? For instance, Bjorn arrives, and they've heard about this player that's played at such a high level. Do you now start seeing the players or the kids and the coaches that are involved in these clinics and that you run, that now start saying, wow, but I could be one of those, or in future I could be playing in the 11. So are you seeing that those dreams that the players are having, are they growing, or is the excitement level growing every time you're there?
Yes. Yes. I mean, if you would ask our coaches, I think one of the highlights of, for example, the Ugandan coaches, of one of the highlights of that year, I mean, and Bjorn knows this, but they're still talking about him. And it's exactly what happened, for example, with because the Amsterdam first ladies team, they visited Zambia a few years ago. And still our coaches talk about this visit, because it really made an impact on them to realize these are the players that and it's not like the hockey, international hockey matches are on television in like they're broadcasted in Lusaka television. So they've seen things on the internet, they've seen videos of these people, and now they got to be with them on the pitch. So
the funny thing also is, like, not only the visit, also now, I think yesterday I get an Instagram message from a coach from Uganda who asked to me, how are you? Do you have any advice for me what to train? So it still lives, and it was like, now I think 3 years ago I visited Uganda, 2 years ago, like 2016. So still it's still I live over there. So it's really nice, really cool to see.
And it also says a lot about their like eagerness to learn. They one of the most positive things that happened to us last year was that one of our coaches, he asked me, could you guys tell me, because we're in contact like on a daily basis most of the time, but could you like ask the team in general, ask us how we're doing so far, how do you think we are doing so far? And I was so impressed by that question. I was like, I mean, I think we tell them now and then. I feel like we tell them most of the time, but I think that is that's the perfect example of personal development on how and how that works, because they really want to be a better hockey coach.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Now, on that topic, Bjorn, I mean, why was it important for you to be involved with the Hockey Dreams Foundation as an ambassador? I mean, you touched on it a little bit, but is there anything more there?
I think when you see the hockey in the Netherlands, it's only hockey for money and trophies and tournaments. And I think sometimes you forget what's the basic of hockey is that everybody can play it with friends every time at the day at the moment. So I want to do something different than only for money or for visibility or for the television. No, I want to do something for volunteers work. And Gijs, the founder of the Hockey Dream Foundation, he called me and he said, Bjorn, would you like to be an ambassador of the Hockey Dream Foundation? I say, okay, what is it? What is the Hockey Dream Foundation? I explained to me, and I was really impressed about the history and the philosophy of the Hockey Dream Foundation. And I thought, okay, together with Maria Verschoor from Amsterdam, I thought, okay, now I like this combination. We play both for the national team. We have like a big we can reach a lot of people by our Instagram or Facebook. So I saw something in it, and also I want to do something back through the hockey community worldwide, not only for like Africa but also for the rest of the world. And that was the reason I said yes to the hockey dream, because I believe in a future by hockey, and I saw it with my own eyes in Uganda 2 years ago. So I still believe in it, and now I think I'm an ambassador for 4.5 years, I think, and I'm still happy that I started 4.5 years ago. So the reason is that I want to do something back to the hockey community worldwide.
I think, and you touch on something really nice, and giving back, and Malou, you mentioned obviously just trying to build this excitement and this knowledge base for coaches. I mean, that picture that you shared of Luwando from Zambia, he was sitting against his wall with his cell phone in his hand, watching one of the Sportways webinars that was happening. I think it was in June.
Yeah.
Those types of things that you see, I mean, surely being involved with Hockey Dreams Formation shows you obviously the determination of that coach, because he wasn't going to miss that webinar series. But is that something that drives you constantly and reaffirms the work that you are doing to make a difference?
Yeah, because I was just surprised, to be honest, because I just thought, yeah, okay, it's a webinar. We all have to put in effort and time to attend something and then you also have to pay attention and learn a lot. So I thought let's give it a try. And then afterwards we were all a bit like, I mean, this is something that we discussed during our evaluation afterwards, that we were all a bit amazed on what happened there, because it wasn't just people watching a webinar. It was that we could bring some kind of hockey knowledge to people who had never had the access to listen to these kind of people and to listen to what they had to say. I mean, we must realize that it's, for these people, it's not like, there's this tournament every year that I go to where I can see the people that I'm a big fan of. It's not like there's hockey on television that they can follow. It's just not like that. And the moment they got to attend these webinars, we just thought, okay, there's something big in there. And like you mentioned, there were people watching on their really tiny phone in a dark room, with their notebook next to it, very important. And then the webinars were over, and then the WhatsApp group that we were all in together with, it exploded, because they all had like a million questions even afterwards, like how can we adapt this in our country? Because, for example, one webinar was about video analysis, and they said, yeah, we don't have that. So how can we solve that? How can we get to the preparation for a tournament? Because there are tournaments in the end, but how can we be in a creative and fix that for ourselves? And they are quite creative. I mean, for example, our coaches produce their own shin pads out of flip-flops, so they're creative enough to get to that point. But yeah, that was I think I was just surprised, and one of the reasons why I felt like, yeah, we're really doing a good job, not just within Hockey Dreams, but altogether.
And it puts it in perspective. I mean, we sometimes spoil that we can easily just go online, we've got Wi-Fi, and that we just quickly log on and we have access to these things. Bjorn, obviously, as you know, you would have seen a lot of kids and coaches with various challenges that they've experienced throughout their lives, and that you've obviously had a fair bit of challenges here and there. As an international player, as a hockey player, obviously playing in so many games in so many different situations. Give us some of the more important things that the more tough challenges that you've had to learn, and what you've learned from them You know, like maybe losing a final and just some basic things that anybody watching might learn something from.
Yeah, I only lost one final in my whole career, so
Oh,
that's good.
that's a
But
good
no,
that's a good record.
that's a good record. No. I think the hardest challenge what you have as an athlete is, I think, the mental things, like when you drop off of a selection for a tournament. So like 4 years ago, before the Olympics in Rio, I trained like let's say the whole year for the Olympics, and 3 weeks before the tournament, the coach told me, I don't take you with me to Rio. And I said, shit, I trained like 340 days for the tournament, and 3 weeks before he kicked me off the selection. So that was really hard. And then you have like 2 months nothing. So your whole summer is you scheduled your whole summer for the Olympics, and now there's nothing. So, and then they say it's a black hole. You don't have anything else. So what are you going to do? You gotta stop with hockey, or you gotta go for the next tournament. But yeah, you become older and older, and what's smart to do. And I think that break, that thing is the hardest thing to work with. So the mental part is I think the toughest. Of course, when you're injured, you have to come back from the injury from 8 to 9 months. It's also tough, but it never happened to me, so I can talk about it. But like when you lose a final or lose an important game, of course that's hard. But that is sports. That's top sports. Like you can win, you can lose. It is normally 50-50 when it is a top game. But I think the mental part of the sport, I think in every sport is the hardest. And I think for me, it's when you drop off for a selection. I think that's the hardest part.
And I think you make a good point there, because I think a lot of kids at a young age um, will go through this somewhere along the line. They're not going to make a school team. They're not going to make a provincial team. They might not make a club team, and yet that's something that is a reality most careers. I mean, some people might not ever have that, but there are some people that will be. So I think the mental side, you've touched on it perfectly there.
Yeah.
One more thing. I mean, obviously you've been successful at various levels, and what do you think is the most? I know you mentioned the fitness, but what else do you think is the most important? Staying at the top, because I mean, I had an interesting discussion, and the one guy said, well, if people are winning all the time, surely there must be a new challenge. But I mean, it seems like, especially in the Kampong situation, you guys are just every year eager, keep going, you keep working. What is it that constantly drives that successful performance within yourself and within the team?
I think your lifestyle. So not only what you're doing on the pitch, but also what are you doing outside of the pitch. So what time are you going to bed? What do you eat? We also say rest is of sleeping is also training. So I think when you stay fit like the whole season, you can train the whole season with the whole team. And I think that's the most important thing. So when I look back to the times when I won trophies, I did it with the whole team. And my own goal was my lifestyle to be fit on the moment when we have to prepare to win the game. So the first games of the season, okay, they are okay, but I think the second half of the season, that's the most important part, because then you will play the finals and also important matches where you need the points to become at the first 4 teams of the competition, because that gives you right to play the playoffs.
Yeah.
And also with the national team, if you look to the Dutch team, yeah, we train only 4 or 5 weeks before a tournament. Of course, every week is important, but I think the last 2 weeks of that preparation, that are the most important ones, because then you can look to the details, and not only like what are we going to do, who's fit. No, how do we beat Belgium? How do we beat Australia? And that detail is really important. And then you need to be fit. So also what I say again is like your lifestyle is so important, not only at the pitch, but yeah, I think it's the most important part thing is like outside of the pitch.
And let's talk one more thing. I mean, you spoke about lifestyle, and that's a really good thing, because you talk to anybody in a professional sport environment, even people that are or just want to do a good thing. Their lifestyles project what they're trying to achieve. So let's talk preparation quickly, because now you've obviously got this extended period now you've got your league that's going to be starting in a couple of weeks' time, new coach, I believe, at Kampong as well. When you look at preparation, considering what we've just gone through, how does that preparation change to looking at the league, and then looking forward for the Dutch team to Olympics, which is next year, exactly the same time that it would have been this year? Is there any change? And just talk quickly about, or talk briefly about the type of preparation now. Will you start doing the Dutch preparation now? That type of planning? Will you? Just give us a bit of an idea. Obviously, because now things have just moved slightly later.
Yeah, I think this year is the first time in 10 years we can do the whole preparation with our club team. Normally, you have in the summer you got a tournament. Also, this year we had the Olympics until the 8th of August. Then you have 2 weeks holiday, and then you will come back to the club, say the last week of August, and then the first week of September you start the competition. Because of the Olympics, they cancel it and they reschedule to next year. We have to start the preparation the first week of August, just as the normal players of the team, and we have like 5 weeks with the club, and that is really special because normally we only have 4 days. So that's a big difference. So I think with club team, it changed because we have a longer time with them. If you look to the national team, it's a big difference because they rescheduled the tournament, but also they rescheduled all the Hockey Pro League matches we had in just June, and they rescheduled to the end of October, beginning of November, and to next, I thought, March, April. The competition we have to play 53 matches in 10 months, and that's a big difference because normally you play 22 matches with the competition, then maybe 10 to 15 matches with the national team, and now it's like 55 or 53, 55. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen with the COVID-19, but if we look at the schedule right now, we will play it. And the training time we have with the national team is really short. We only have time in September and October, but for the rest, we only have the month of January, and for the rest, we have matches and tournaments with the club. So we don't have time with the national team. So the preparation during the Olympics next summer, they will be really short. Normally, you have say 7 months preparation. Now you will have 3 months. And that's a big difference because the Olympics, that's the biggest event what there is in the whole world. So it will be really hard. So we will start next Monday with trainings. And then we have meetings with the team. How do we prepare? And what are we doing in our own time? That's what I meant. Lifestyle is important because we have the club team, but also the national team. So the preparation will go through our lifestyle. And also the club team preparation, or say the competition also. So we have to find the best combination that you can stay fit. You play your matches, you play your trainings with the national team, you do your trainings with the club team, and you can play the tournaments, of course. So yeah, it will be really tough, but we have a schedule now from the 7th of September until the 22nd of July next year. And I hope we can do it. And yeah, we have to see how it works.
Well, I will say, as South Africans, we get quite excited because of the Dutch well, it's happened quite often that either ladies or men come and visit Stellenbosch and play some test matches in South Africa, January, February. So yeah, when we hear stuff like that, we get excited because at least our national men's and ladies teams will be involved. But I think you've touched on some really, really good and important life lessons that you can learn from that, especially with COVID and the uncertainty of schedules and where things are. I think that's the nice thing, that you at least have some clarity of where you guys are going. Malou, I'm going to come back now and we'll tie up a bit of Hockey Dreams. What is your dream for Hockey Dreams going forward? Where do you want us to go? What's the ideal situation that we find ourselves maybe 5-10 years from now?
Yeah, let's make it the ideal world as possible, and let's
Yeah.
say there is a lot more money. Then then I would say there are actually then two really big dreams for Hockey Dreams itself, which would be that there are a lot more coaches who finished their education. So what happened now over the last 2 years is that our coaches are now actually moving forward to getting a job. So, for example, there are two coaches who were scouted, and they now have a job as a sports teacher in private schools. And we have another coach who finished a program and is now looking for a job in hospitality. So we're now getting to the point that we have these results that are getting there. So I think one of the big dreams would be that I just really like every single coach that is in the program to have a good job, take care of themselves, be a hockey coach on the side of their daily job, or they can be a hockey coach and make money with that. Also fine, whatever they like. Another big dream would be that we would really like to expand the program to different countries. And that is something that has been going through our minds over years and years. At one point, we had this goal that within 10 years, we wanted to be in 10 different countries. That's a bigger challenge than we thought. We now focus on actually developing our communities through different phases. But that would be a big dream to expand it to another, I think, African country. And then there's this another big dream, but that's not really a goal for our foundation itself. But one of the if you would ask my coaches, one of their dreams would be that playing with, because a lot of our coaches are in their national teams of their countries. So I think one of their dreams would be that they could actually go to, for example, Africa Cup of Nations and win some matches there. That would be huge.
I would love that, because I'm involved with this African indoor ladies side, and we had Botswana come down and attend their first indoor series middle of last year, and it was unbelievable to see, because you could see the eagerness, the willingness to do better, and the more countries we get taking part in those events, the better. Bjorn, for you, what do you want to see as the desired outcome from your specific involvement with the Hockey Dreams Foundation?
I think for me, the most important thing is to create more and more awareness worldwide for the Hockey Dreams, and to find funds that they can give to the Hockey Dream Foundation, to put it in all the coaches, and also for me, the kids who want to play hockey over there, because I saw it. And I think the most important thing, what Malou already said about some kids doesn't have shoes. There are not enough hockey sticks, maybe some hockey balls. And of course, there's not one pitch. There's one pitch in Kampala, but they have to share it with like 40 kind of different sports, just with football, volleyball, and go. So I hope that my function my role as an ambassador, together with Maria, to create more awareness, to find funds, big funds, not like small ones, but big ones, that they can build their own hockey pitch, especially for hockey, that kids can have their sticks and balls, that they can play hockey. It doesn't have to. They don't need their own sticks, but they want to have sticks to play hockey, and not to share after exercise. Oh, here's my stick, and to share with each other. No, it's my stick when I'm there, and I hope that my role, and together with Maria, and also with Tristan, who's also an ambassador, that we create something worldwide, that Hockey Dreams is there for the kids and for the coaches in Africa.
this has seriously been one of the most special interviews I've taken part, because I've got all this passion, and I love the passion and the energy that you guys are bringing to something that is so dear to not only yourselves but the Hockey Dreams Foundation. And to get something from Bjorn, to get the insight on a player who's playing at the highest level, who's achieved so much, and Malou, who's got all the passion and energy to drive the vision of the Hockey Dream Foundations. I really appreciate your insight and your view into this, and I appreciate your contribution. So thank you very much for adding to the Sportways African Hockey Summit, and I know people will value this dearly. So thank you very much for joining, and I look forward to meeting with you guys once we're allowed to travel again, and see what you guys are doing, because I would love to be involved. So thank you very much, and thank you to everybody for watching, for being involved in the African Hockey Summit presented by Sportsways. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay, don't log out.